Hello, hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great evening and had a chilled out Valentine's Day. Hello, Erica. Let's see, Miss Lori. I meant to say, oh, but still hello, even though she's very feisty. And Miss Lori is taking care of her cats. Hello, Gina. Let's see here. Joy, hello. What is everyone doing this Valentine's Day? We didn't do anything here. We even had breakfast for dinner. I don't know if you guys ever have breakfast for dinner just to make it easy, but we all love breakfast for dinner in my house. So it was just an easy evening. We try not to get out and do restaurants and all that kind of stuff because it's crazy on Valentine's Day. Let's see here. Oh, Lori said it's snowing at her house. Hello, Maggie. Let's see. Julia, hello. Hello, Julia's husband. Welcome, welcome. Yes, sometimes my husband, I shouldn't say sometimes. He puts up with all my crafty stuff too. But, guys normally have their little hobbies, their tools or things in the garage, so that's okay. Let's see. Gina's telling me that the hubby bought her some beautiful flowers, amazing, and a wonderful dinner. Oh, well, happy Valentine's Day, Gina. Let's see. Amy, breakfast. Yes, thumbs up for breakfast for dinner. I don't know what it is, but breakfast for dinner is just way better than breakfast for breakfast sometimes. Let's see. Hello, Deb in Denton, Texas. Getting our heads blown. Oh, it's windy. Yes, I grew up in southern Oklahoma, so I totally hear you on the windy days, especially when you get into springtime. Krista, happy Valentine's Day. She enjoyed the evening with her neighbors. Amazing. That's awesome that you have friendly neighbors that you can spend the evening with. And thanks to all of you for coming and hanging out. I didn't know if we would have anybody this evening. I'm not going to do a card that is Valentine-ish. I think we have all gotten all that stuff done. But I am going to do a card and kind of move into springtime. And I'm actually going to use an older Lovely Layers set. So I'm going to use the Lovely Layers Tulip tonight. And I actually saw a really cool technique that I haven't done in a really long time from one of our design team members. Her name is Shannon. And she literally, and I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I used to do it like way back years ago when I did scrapbooking stuff, but wadded up paper and use the wadded up paper for her die cuts. And so I have done that. We're going to get into that. We're going to get some cool looking, kind of a little bit funky looking die cuts tonight. Let's see. Gail is home with her hubby. Hello, Gail and hubby. Let's see here. Kelley, we enjoy your creativity. Thank you, Miss Krista. Let's see here. Susan Goff. When is the next release? It is next month, middle of the month. And it is amazing. We have about a month to go before then. So we're like jumping into springtime head first with the next release. So love Shannon's techniques, Miss Gail said. Let's see, Deb said, bite your tongue. I've barely gotten this last month paid off. I know, I hear you. You're going to like it. It's fun. And then I can tell you the release after that, I think you guys are going to be super excited about too. But that's, down the road. We're thinking ahead. Let's see. Sitting outside in the by the fire pit in Fort Lauderdale. Miss Donna, hello. Caitlin, yay for spring. Let's see here. Scared to see the new release. Don't be scared. It's going to be fun. And then I'll show you all kinds of little fun things and ideas that we can come up with for stuff like that. And then after last week and us doing the 3D embossing folders, and some of those were total bloopers, and then some of them were good. Most of you, I think, were here last week. but I thought it would be fun. And Lisa and I talked about doing a live that's not bloopers, but it's mess ups. And how do we fix the mess ups without throwing the paper in the trash? So you guys will have to tell me in the comments maybe some of your mess ups. I know somebody told me last week that they hate when they get all the way to like stamping something inside their card, and then the stamping, like your sentiment on the inside, gets messed up. But I thought it would be fun just to go through, do a whole bunch of like mess ups, and then maybe I can give you some ideas on how we can fix those, or how I would fix those. And maybe it'll spark your creativity or get you some, give you some ideas. I love actual fix it episodes. Perfect, Deb. Let's see here. Gail ordered the Clover embossing folder. Maggie said that's a great idea. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to flip the camera around here, and Gail is using her damask stencil for the first time. It tore. I used super glue. Oh no. Yeah, did your stencil tear? Or Gina, tell me in the comments if your stencil tore or your paper. Okay, so here is our layering guide for the Lovely Layers tulip. And as I mentioned, I started out, yes, the stencil. Okay. Email me, Gina, and maybe I can help you. Okay, so starting out with crumpled paper, and I don't know if any of you remember doing this when we used to crumple up our paper and then like ink blend and do stuff over the top of it. So I am not using for my die cuts tonight. I figured out, through a blooper, through a mess up, not to use heavyweight cardstock. So don't use your Nina, your good stuff, your 110-pound Nina. Use something that is lighter weight. Maybe not as light weight as like printer paper or something like that, but something that's a little bit lighter weight. Okay, so you want your cardstock to look a mess like this, like it needs to go in the trash. And this is where I laid my dies out for the large tulip. We're going to do the large tulip tonight. And I cut all those little die pieces out of the crinkled paper. Now, let me show you what I got. You didn't miss anything, Sherry. We're just starting out. Hello, Brenda. Okay. Now, you see this one that I have tested right here? And you see where it kind of looks like a mess right now, but it's not going to. So this is my tester piece. And do you see how on those raised crinkle portions, almost like when we were ink blending over the 3D embossed paper, where the high points are going to catch a lot of the pigment and it's going to make it a little bit darker. That's kind of the look that we're going for with the crinkled paper. And so right now, I'll have to tell you, it's one of those. See, this is really cool. Look how that turned out. And it almost looks like a little tattered, a little vintage. But I'm going to go through and ink blend all these little pieces. And so I've got to get all my little pieces out here. And I know I saw Lisa in the chat over there. So if anybody has questions, and I know Brenda's over there upstairs, hobby room. Hello, hello. Okay. So what we're doing here, and I'm going to lay these here so I can kind of look at them, and we can all kind of take a gander as we go here. I am using some inks that I don't know that if you've heard of these. I know you've heard of the company W+9. This is Dawn Holslagel's company. She has W+9. She also does what is the right word for it? She collaborates a lot with Honeybee Stamps. Like she'll mix her inks and like our Lovely Layers dies and her style and things like that. And we collaborate together. And so I thought it would be fun tonight to use some of Dawn's ink. And this one is Hayride. So it's going to give us that butter yellow color. And then the leaves are Last Leaf. And they're just a really great dye ink that when you ink blend with them, this is the type of ink that's going to smooth out and be pretty on your paper. Now, I have to tell you, this is one of those techniques, again, like we did the embossing folders last week, that it's not perfectly nice and neat. And so it does make me a little bit nervous, but let's see what we get here. And I like this because, you know, part of it, if you mess up in an area, I think I could probably grab it and just crinkle it and wrinkle it all back up again. And, you know, it would be fine. Okay, now, with all of my lovely layers, this is the only thing that makes me a little nervous. It doesn't make me nervous, but I'm going to have to think about it a little bit. Is normally we've got all those great embossed details and you can still see them. I'm just going to have to be extra vigilant when I put this all together that I'm not covering up the embossing. And so I do like to kind of hold it together like this as I'm building one of our lovely layers flowers, just to see if I'm liking where all of the color is. And I know on this back one that I may want to add, you know, a little bit more darkness back in there because it's going to be kind of in the shadow back in here behind these other petals. And I can even add, you know, just a little bit more. And then I just kind of hold it up together. And then when I'm happy with it, I'll kind of lay it all down and then go to the next one. Okay, so the next one, we're getting into the funny little pieces right here. But our layering guides totally help you, you know, see all the little numbers and things like that, help you to know like what we're going to do. So I'm going to start by going over this with that Hayride color with the butter yellow. And then on the part that is, let me think about this for a second. No, I don't want to do any more on that. So I'm actually going to layer it and I'm going to make sure that I like it, that lighter yellow. And see, then I can take this middle portion out. I don't know if any of you do this, but I kind of go back and forth and layer it up to make sure that I'm liking how all my little layers are looking together. And then I'll put it, kind of set it all back together again. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of liking how that's darker down in there. So I'm ready to move on. So here is the little stamen pieces that go in the center. And instead of using that really light buttery color, I'm going to try this color that's Falling Star. And I may even have to go a little bit darker, but we'll see. But this is, I think, is a darker yellow. And so I'm going to get that really saturated. And I think that that's going to be pretty on that part. And I'm going to hold it up like this. And now we can kind of see our variations here and how all that's going to layer together. Okay, so if it's layered together, I may want something that's a little bit darker than that even. I may even want to go a little more orange. So it's best to do that now. And I'm going to grab one of my dirty blending brushes up here. And I'm going to go a little bit darker. And I'm just going to kind of hit the edges just like that. And I think that that's going to be better on there to make sure that that stands out. Okay, now I know this little piece is also a little stamen piece, and I'm going to go over that really well with the orange brush. It's going to layer on there. And then this is the last petal that is right here, the lightest petal, and I want that the lightest yellow. Put my orange brush away so we don't boo-boo. And then I'm going to go over that with the light yellow with the buttery color yellow. Okay, so all those are kind of stacked up there. Now I have my little stem done, but I need the layering leaf to go over it. So let me make a clean spot here. Just like that. And I'm going to take my dry cloth and kind of clean off my messes here. Okay, so I did this the exact same way. And I've got little fuzzies here. Okay, so this is where I'm going to take last leaf and a brush. And all I did on this part was ink up my brush. And I want down in here on the stem to be a little bit darker and then to fade up. So I'm going to do the same thing on the layering part of the leaf and work it both directions so it gets into all those little crinkles where I bent and crushed the cardstock. So there we go. Put that away. Let's get all the brushes out of the way. Okay, so let's adhere this thing all together. Okay, I just started buying lots of inks at Michael's. Here where I live, they had them buy one, get one half off. That is that's exactly how I started when I started card making and crafting and stuff, is I just bought some inexpensive inks when they were on sale and things like that. And then when I got more into it and I wanted to do design teams and things like that, that's when I thought, okay, now I can try like the distress inks or, something like that. So that you're doing exactly what I did. Okay, so I'm going to put my little green stems, if I can pick him up, move him out of the way. And then I'm going to do my next layer. So this one is going to go right here, and they fit together. Even though they're really funny shaped, they fit together like little puzzle pieces. Once you figure out, like, there's the little stamen piece here, and then there's the matching piece there. So I know I want to line that up together, and then I can kind of move everything around. And the Lovely Layers sets I always use a liquid adhesive when putting these together, because then I'm going to be able to move everything around while the adhesive is wet. So I'm going to go ahead and put this piece on. Let's see if I need to make him a little bit darker. I can do that before we get too far. My tweezers. And I'm just going to set that down right there. And then I can pick up this whole thing. And I'm going to have to get, I don't know if any of you have the silicone mats or any glass mat, any kind of craft mat. If you'll notice that ink, the haze is still there. All you have to do is use alcohol, like on a wipe or little alcohol pads, and it will come right off of that. That's how I clean everything. Adhesive, anything like that. My Misty, I use like a little alcohol wipe. Okay, so now it's looking a little bit better here. So let's add our little leaf, and I'm just going to add some adhesive right in there. Make sure I've got this little guy going the right direction. And then I can pick it up and kind of make sure it's all sandwiched on there correctly. Just like that. And then it's going to go something like that. So it's big and full and open. Let me put this last little piece. I don't want to forget him. Getting ahead of myself. And that's going to fit in there right there. It's that nearest in the foreground little open petal, like it's cupped facing you like that. Like, let's see the picture. Let's see the layering guide again. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to wait to put it together until we get on our cardstock. Let's see here. Sticky roller. My sticky roller lives in my truck. His outfits, yes. Are you seeing all the little fuzzies and all the little things? But I just have these little alcohol wipes like this. And if you take it like this, it takes it right up off of your mat. So it cleans it just like that. And I clean all this kind of stuff. Okay. All right. Now we've got our card base. So I'm using the Opulent Frames dies, and I am going to stamp a sentiment. So I think I'm going to stamp this, "You Bring a Smile to My Face," because I'm going with this kind of bright color scheme, the springy color scheme. And this pattern paper is from our Happy Hearts paper pad. So that's the newest pattern paper. So here's the whole paper pad. See all those fabulous colors. And I can tell you, when you look on the website and when you look like I'm looking right now on my screen, it is not as bright as this. Like, that is not red. It's like a pinky color. And I wish the colors came across on screen better than what they do. So our Happy Hearts paper pad, and I'm using that really springy, beautiful plaid. And then I'm going to stamp the "You Bring a Smile to My Face," because I think it's fun and it's sunshiny for a happy, springy card. But I also think that this type of card with like the technique with the crumpling of the paper to make it look a little bit aged or something like that, I think it would be a pretty Mother's Day card with lovely layers. So let me pull off my sentiment here. And I'm just going to nestle it right down in here. Oops. And I'm just going to stamp it in good old black VersaFine ink and just make a classic, nice, crisp sentiment. And then touch, touch, touch. Yay for spring, everybody's saying. I know. You know, our weather here in South Carolina, knock on wood, has been really nice. Like, so nice that we were able to open the windows the other day. And, you know, it's always nice in the springtime when you can kind of open the windows and start to kind of air out the house. And so it's been really nice to be able to open the windows and do that. Okay, now while this ink is drying and kind of setting up just a little bit, I'm going to move that aside and I'm going to adhere everything for my card base. So I've just got a top folding white card base, easy peasy, and I've used those Opulent Frames dies. So that's the die set that I know you guys have seen me use over and over because it's so cool and you can do so many layers. But it's the one that has all the layers. Let me pull it out of my little bag of tricks over here, if I can grab it. But it has all the different layers like this. So both of those cardstock layers came from this one die set. And I debated on whether to use like one of these for like a sentiment or something like that, but I decided I don't want to cover up my tulip. So we're going to do it just like this. So I'm just going to adhere the white. And this is just nice, crisp white cardstock because we're going to have that pretty tulip. And make sure that we're all nice and straight. Then I hate to cover up or hide the cute little strawberries. That's okay. And then I'm going to butt this up right against the edges. Just like that. And then all those big scallops are going to go right up against the edge. Just like that. And now we can kind of decide where we want our pretty tulip. Okay. So it's going to go something like this and be kind of fun and happy. And then I wish you could see the colors, because my ink colors really do go really well with like these creamy kind of creamsicle looking colors on the thing. And so we're going to put it all together. So I think I'm going to start with, let's start with the tulip part. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of dimension, just a tad, not a whole lot. I'm going to use some of these little dots that I just have on my desk. And these aren't the good honeybee tabbed ones that have the little release, easy to grab tabs on them. And I'm going to kind of set it just like the one, I think I'm going to follow like what's on the layering guide here and kind of have it a little bit on its side like that. And then I'm going to take the tulip, the stem, and just add a few little dots here and there. And then I want to use, there, my tweezers to kind of place everything. There we go. And I don't even mind, I don't think that, maybe I'll trim it so we're not going to see it. There we go. I'm going to lift this guy up. And I'm going to hold that into place while it dries, or while it sets up to the paper. And I'm actually going to lift these leaves up just a little bit, so they have a little bit of dimension and movement. Okay, now we've got a little tulip going. Now in that die set, in the Lovely Layer set, and I'll kind of lay it here while I'm working on my sentiment, there is kind of a partially open tulip, and then there's a teeny tiny little bud too. So if you wanted to do like a whole bouquet of tulips, you could totally do that. I just wanted the nice big tulip. You bring a smile to my face. Okay, so we're gonna use our highlighter tape here, and I'm gonna line up this sentiment with the coordinating die. You could always cut like a little strip, or make a nice little strip to kind of fit across the bottom or something like that. If you didn't want to use the coordinating dies, or you wanted to make a little banner or something like that, I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to use my little bitty buzz cutter. Let's see here. Now I can kind of catch up. Let's see. You love that set, Deb. You guys are just chatting away. Happy Hearts Day to the release. Always rejoicing. Hello, hello. I ripped my packaging too, Krista. I just taped them. Beautiful tulip. Oh, Deb has the tulip set. Made cards. Thank you, cards. Deb, are you going to come into our challenge group class that is later on in the month? We're going to use those strawberries and this frame die set too, actually, the opulent frames. Okay, and then I'm thinking that we just kind of do a simple, see how simple but kind of cheerful this little card is? I think we'll do that, and we'll just pop up our little sentiment with a little bit of foam. And then it's like, it's easy peasy. Okay, so let's see here. What time? It is I believe it's, you're going to get me to lie in on the time. It's early afternoon on the 25th of the month. It's on a Saturday, but it's just a free class in the challenge group. And I'll put up the little graphic that I have here in just a little bit. But it's a free class just for something fun for our challenge group members. And I'm just gonna straddle the little stem just like that. Kind of liking that little guy. Okay, so now we've got this cheerful little card. I think I almost thought about adding some little gems or little pearls or something, but I think I like it nice and simple, just like that. It could even be like if we tone down the paper a little bit too, and this is another one that I cut. If we tone down the paper, this would be a really nice sympathy card if you just change the sentiment up a little bit. But I think it would be really cute. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up just a little bit and kind of tilt it. Okay, what do you think about wadding up the paper for your die cuts? Now, is this something that you would try like Shannon did? I think she used the new pansies on her card. But what do you think about the texture and the little lumpy bumpies in the paper? And I really especially think I did kind of a more bright, cheerful kind of card, but I think it would be really pretty with like a vintage look card as well. Let me go back here and I'm going to look here. I'd try it for sure. Love it. I will be trying. Very cool. I would definitely try. Let's see. I love wadding up the paper and gonna try it. Yes. Yeah, it's an easy way to get. Both are fun. Wonder how it would work on vellum. I don't know, but you could always try it and see what it does. I don't ever really use regular inks on vellum, Deb. You could try it if you have any alcohol markers. You might try that for your shading because the alcohol marker will stick to the vellum better. But you could always try that. Lovely Layers are my favorite dyes. I know, they're ours too. All of ours. You guys are going to gasp when you see the new Lovely Layers next month in the spring release. They're amazing. Let's see here. To repeat your idea. Gina gonna repeat her idea. Good. So all of you are sharing ideas. What about using velvet? Gina asked about that. Okay. All right. I want to make sure that I haven't missed anything. We didn't miss any questions. The class, thank you. Oh yes. Let's put that up here. So this is the challenge group. It is Honeybee Stamps Buzzworthy Challenges on Not Happy Hearts. We're already finished with that. Here we go. Let me get the right one. There we go. It's a card class. So it's February 25th. It's free to anybody who wants to join. This is the card that we'll be making. As I mentioned, we're going to use the opulent frames you can see there in the background and our little strawberries. And that is our wooden crate that the strawberries are in. That's been one of our most popular little vessels to put like our Lovely Layers flowers. And you can see how cute it is with the little strawberries. And I can tell you, some of the stuff that's coming out in the spring release or the release next month are like going to be so dang cute in that little wooden crate. And then I just added a little hello stamp. But super fun. I'm going to walk through how you start with white die cuts and get the look there of the different colors on the strawberries. And so that is Honeybee Stamps Buzzworthy Challenger. Let's see here. Gail says, I have. And so all of you that are here, don't feel like that you can't come and be part of the class because you don't have exactly what was on that card. If you have any of the Lovely Layers, any of them, or any of honeybee stuff, anything, come and join us, because I just want you to come hang out. It's like us just virtually crafting together. And it's going to be just like this, where you guys can chat. I wish we could all Zoom and so I could see your faces. So we could chat and craft together and all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. I use the Lovelier Rose for several Valentine's Day. Perfect. That's perfect. But mainly I just want us all to get together and craft, and it's just kind of, so you're crafting while I'm crafting, so you can kind of ask questions in real time, if that makes sense. And I'm going to start everything from start to finish. So it's not going to be like the lives here to where I've already got like, a bunch of it done, but I have offered a prep time for those of us that are taking part in the class to get together and do a live prep. So we'll all be prepping together. So that means that when we do start the class, we'll all be at the same starting point. So I hope that that helps everybody. I'll be with some friends crafting. We're planning on joining just for the fun of it. Perfect. Just to see what everybody is having fun with. Krista, that sounds amazing. And then maybe you can get some of your crafty friends to come join the challenge group. Now, I do have to say, it's sad that I'll miss the class. Yeah, just catch the next one. Yeah, you're going to be on a fantastic vacation, Amy, so we'll let it slide this time. But I can't even remember. How do you join? So it's going to be on that Facebook page that is on the screen right now, the Honeybee Stamps Buzzworthy Challenges. And it's just going to pop up. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to specially join anything. When that goes live in that Facebook group, you can just pull it up and see it. Krista has everybody hooked on Honeybee. Perfect. And also, I've noticed several of you in the challenge group posting cards to this month's challenge. This month's challenge is so super easy because it's anything geometric. So you could just use, and I've seen somebody posted a card, it may be one of you. Somebody just used geometric pattern paper and then added some die cut stamps and some stamped images on top of it. And that is perfection. That's all you have to do is anything geometric, whether that, and it could be, that you use a circle die cut and then add a sentiment or something like that in there. It really could be anything, but I don't want you guys to miss out on taking part or using that as a strawberry geometric. Maybe you could lay it on a circle or a square or some pattern paper, and it totally could be geometric. Or some people were using geometric stencils underneath flowers or something like that, and that could totally be it. But yep, a triangle. Absolutely. There you go. Okay, so it's time to have our giveaway this evening. And I'm going to let Lisa, she's got the link in there for you guys of the challenge group. I'm going to let Lisa tell us is a round edge triangle. You could, it is a rounded edge triangle. I'm putting it together now, reading the comments. I see. I'm just a little slow on the uptake there. Let's see here. Did I miss the winner? Let me just see if Lisa has done the winner. No, I haven't. Okay, perfect. Geometric stencil, Amy. I know I'd recognize some names, but I didn't want to say it was so-and-so or it was this. Okay, Joy Nelson, you're the winner tonight. I didn't want to say the wrong name. So Joy, if you'll email me, Kelley, Kelley @honeybeestamps.com, I will send you your prize. Yay for Joy. Jumping for joy. And then I will be back here on Thursday night to craft again with all of you. And if any of you ever, I always put this out, if any of you ever have questions about the challenge group, about anything that you've seen live, about products, somebody was talking about a stencil earlier, email me at this email address. Kelley, Kelley at honeybeestamps.com, and I will help you, or I will get you to where someone can help you. But there we go. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Valentine's Day night, and I will see you Thursday. Bye, you guys. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon.